Hi there, this is Tony from pianotone.ca, and this is my 6th video on the piano training app Flowkey. In this video, I'm going to be going over the mastering chords and improvising with chords sections, both of which I was pretty excited to dive into because my piano training in the year and a half since I started playing piano has been mostly chord-based. So let's check out what I found. So the mastering chords section starts out by introducing you to a very common chord progression in modern music. It uses 4 chords, and then there's a very simple song example. You'll be learning that in the key of C. Then the next lesson provides some additional song examples that use the same chord progression and also a couple of other slightly modified chord progressions, but still with the same four chords. So by the time you're through these two sections, then you should have those 4 chords pretty well under your belt. It also gives you a brief introduction to arpeggios. Then the next 2 lessons explain triads and how major and minor chords are constructed so that you can start to figure out chords on your own. Then it gives you some practice finding and playing common and major and minor chords. Then the course category goes into chord inversions. And this is a super useful and yet always challenging topic to develop for new pianists. Once you completed the minor chord inversion lesson, you get a song example of one of the most famous songs that uses this, this chord progression that we've been working on in this section. Then the course category finishes with a lesson on chord accompaniment. Now this is where you are not playing the melody of the song, but instead you are playing just the piano part of the song that you can use to accompany someone, maybe even yourself, singing the song. And the best part of this lesson is the song example. It's another super famous piano song.
In this course, you will combine everything you've learned so far to develop a complete accompaniment to a song. John Lennon's Imagine is the perfect song to try this out.
And this song is going to throw all sorts of challenges at you, such as various chord inversions and some slash chords and even some 4-finger chords. So a great song to be included in this lesson. So now on to the Improvising with Chords course category. This is the course category that I was most looking forward to with Flowkey, since my piano training has mostly been chord-based, and improvising around chords is a big part of how I've learned how to play. Now the category starts out by showing you a few different rhythm patterns where you switch up the rhythm of your playing. This is the perfect place to start with improvisation, because you can play the exact same chord progression using these different rhythm patterns and have the song sound quite different with each one. So this gives you a great tool to spice up your playing.
You might have noticed that it's a little monotonous to play chords in the same pattern over and over again. To make chord accompaniment sound more interesting, changing up the rhythm is crucial. That's why this course is all about different rhythmic patterns which will help you pep up your piano playing.
Now you can easily spend a bunch of time on this section, and I would highly recommend that you do so, so that you can get really comfortable with these rhythm patterns, because then you will have them at your disposal when you go to play a song that you want to play. So then the course category goes on to explain some more advanced 4-finger chords like 7th chords, various chord voicings, and then also builds on arpeggios as a method of spicing up your play. Now I do want to mention here that these chords are explained well, and the exercises are fine for practicing them, but they could be a bit longer. There's different types of 7th chords, and they can be really confusing for both complete beginners and for beginners like me that have been playing for over a year. So I would highly recommend spending a lot of time on these exercises, even though they aren't that long. Go through them multiple times and make a note to return to them again and again, and really think about how each chord you are practicing is constructed. And then that way you're better prepared to be able to play one of these chords when you see it in a song you're trying to learn. So like I was saying, these exercises are fine, but they are pretty simple and pretty short. So make sure when you're going through these that you're really thinking about how this chord is constructed, because that's how it's going to be of value to you later on when you encounter seventh chords. Now the next section goes over more chord types, major sixth and added ninth chords, and it has a pretty challenging song example where you make use of these new chord fingerings, and these ones can be pretty challenging too, so that will also take you a little bit of time to go through. The next section shows you 4 more rhythm patterns that are a bit more complex than the ones earlier in the category. So once again, you can work through these nice and slow so you can master them and then add them to your arsenal. Then the final lessons on improvising in various pop styles are absolutely fantastic. The reason I say this is that they show you how to take a chord progression, and you can easily find chord charts for your favorite songs online. You can learn the chord progression and then gradually add in improvisation and different rhythm patterns to be able to play the song and make it your own. Now the way these work is for each style, they have a chord progression worked out for you ahead of time. So this would be the equivalent of a chord chart that you've just found online for a song you want to learn how to play. Step 1 is to learn the chord progression so you are super comfortable with the chords, and you get a chance to do that first. So here they're showing you the chord progression nice and simple so that you can figure out all these chords, get comfortable with playing them, because you need to get really comfortable with playing them before you start adding in any of your different rhythm patterns. Then once you're comfortable with the chord progression, then you can start trying different rhythm pattern variations that you've learned in this course category to see how they sound with the chords, and that's going to add tons of flavor to the song and make it your own. They also do have an example for you. But the idea here isn't to just try and learn that and duplicate it. It's to come up with your own with different rhythm patterns. Then once you've got the rhythm patterns mastered for one of these pop styles, then you can try a different one. And all of these lessons are done to backing tracks that have drums, bass, and other instruments in the background for you to play along with, which is tons of fun. So you can spend a lot of time in this section, and it will be super valuable for you to do that. You can take your time, get familiar with all the chord progressions in here, and then you can try out all the different rhythm variations. And then when you go to search for chords for your favorite song online, you're going to be able to play a great version of it in no time. So I must say I'm pleasantly surprised at how good the chords, and in particular the improvising with chords sections are in Flowkey. I've looked at other apps that touch on these topics, but mostly they do it from kind of a sight reading, play it this way and it will sound good approach, as opposed to providing you with some options, which are the different rhythm patterns. And then full backing tracks for you to practice those patterns with and improvise along with. So I must say that if you spend a bunch of time on these 2 chord sections in Flowkey and on the rhythm patterns, that you will be able to go online, find a chord chart for a song that you want to play, and you'll be playing it pretty quickly without having to read a single note of notation. So that finishes up my detailed videos on the individual sections of Flowkey's curriculum. I do have links below to the other videos that I've done on the other sections of Flowkey. And now that I've gone through the entire curriculum, I will be posting a summary video outlining my thoughts on Flowkey, but I can say already that I can definitely recommend this app as a way to get started on piano. So if you're ready to give Flowkey a try and choose one of their packages, please click my affiliate link below to get started. And you can also use that link to just grab a free copy of the app as well to test drive it yourself. You'll just be limited to only a handful of the lessons and only 8 songs, but at least you can give it a try that way. So please subscribe to my channel, and that way you don't miss any of the new posts. And thanks for watching this video, and happy piano playing.